What is good, everybody? It's your boy Jay in the building. We is back again with another video, man. Now, you know what we got this week, man? We have Jackson State going to Houston up against Texas Southern. Now, before we get this thing started, let me say that Jackson State can possibly take the division this weekend with them winning and with FAMU losing to Southern, because matter of fact, they play at home against Southern, and mind you, FAMU is on a winning streak at home. I think they're probably like top 5 amongst current win streaks at home. So they're up against that as well. So yeah, so Jackson State versus Texas Southern, man. Now, first off, this is really Shedeur Sanders versus Andrew Body Part 2. But this is a little different. Now, while Shedeur Sanders is putting up Heisman numbers with the receiving core that he has, Andrew Body has been trying to do things by himself the majority of the time. And I am going to say this, especially with the weapons that he has currently, it's not the weapons that he had a year ago. Like, he doesn't have Keelan Davis or Jonathan Giles. Like, with those two, like, he doesn't have any veteran leadership at the receiver position. Like, Derek Morton, his leading receiver this year, mind you, he has great numbers this year. I think he has, about 26 catches for over 400 yards and a touchdown. This was the same guy who only had about 6 or 7 catches last year. And now you called upon him to be your leading receiver. Now, mind you, his second and third leading receiver, A.J. Bennett, with 18 carries and 85 yards so far, and with Tarvius Kane, with 16 catches and 131 yards. So this receiving core isn't as explosive as it had last year. Mind you, with Andrew Body, he averaged about 220 yards a game last year. This year, he's only averaging 160 yards of passing. Now, even though this team is pretty much a running team, honestly, they do have Ladarius Owens, who's been playing good so far this year. He has 500 yards so far. They also have Ja'Cory Howard, who's their backup running back, who has almost 400 yards. And then, of course, you got Andrew Body, who has over 350 yards rushing as well. So they're going up against a Jackson State team who gives up less than 100 yards rushing per game, who barely gives up 10 points per game. You know, and matter of fact, it probably have went down because they pitched a shutout last week. So the average probably went down. So I think when it comes with Andrew Body trying to throw the ball, trying to pass the ball, it's going to be a lot tougher this year or this coming weekend than it was a year ago. Mind you, they only lost by 7. And if Andrew Body was a little bit more accurate in his throws last year, that game possibly goes a different way. Who knows? I think it was 35-28 last year. Yeah, so the game was completely close last year. Man, it's going to be tough because I do believe that Jackson State secondary is 10 times better than the receiving core that Texas Southern has. And if we talk about over on the defensive side, although their secondary is pretty good, their run defense is awful. There's only 3 teams in the SWAC that gives up over 200 yards rushing per game. And this is one of them. And let me tell you, if Savion Wilkerson runs like he did last week, and what he's been doing so far this year, this could be a game where Shedeur Sanders don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting in this game because Texas Southern isn't good with stopping the run. Now they do have two good linebackers in Jacob Williams and Tariq Cooper, who are both very good linebackers. As a matter of fact, Jacob Williams is third in the conference in tackles. Now, Texas Southern does have a pretty decent secondary. Isaiah Hamilton is probably one of the better DBs in the SWAC, and he'll probably be either first or second team All SWAC. He has, think what, 3 interceptions and 5 pass breakups. He had 2 interceptions last year, and the start of the year this year he had 2 interceptions in the first game of the season. So yeah, so Isaiah Hamilton is definitely a star in the making, and I do also like Calvin Henderson at safety, and also Raheem Fuller at safety as well. So Texas Southern does have a pretty decent secondary, but if Texas Southern is gonna have a chance to win at this game, they're gonna have to control time of possession. They're going to have to take the pressure off of Andrew Body. They're going to have to run some RPOs, get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker than normal. You know, I probably watched them play about 3 or 4 games this year. And let me tell you, you know, now I did see him play versus Southern. Now, although that game does surprise me a little bit, the thing that, you know, that caught Southern by surprise is that they had, Texas Southern had receivers open damn near the entire first half, which is why you saw a lot of long receptions in that game. So Jackson State ain't gonna make that mistake. And of course you're gonna see the majority of the time, you're gonna see him playing man-to-man coverage the majority of the game. So if Texas Southern is going to have a chance to win in this game, they're going to have to run the ball effectively and win time of possession and force turnovers on defense. Because let me tell you, if I could name something that's wrong with Jackson State's offense, is that they fumble too much. They fumble a lot when they get inside that red zone. And I don't know what the weather is going to be like in Houston this weekend, but if Texas Southern is going to have any chance, you have to win that turnover battle, and you're going to have to win it by at least 2 or 3, because Jackson State isn't going to just turn the ball over and then give up points right after. It just don't work like that with them this year. Like, there's been plenty of games this year where they lost the turnover battle and still won by more than 2 touchdowns. You know, so it ain't gonna be enough to just force a turnover. You are gonna have to score off that turnover, possibly. And you know, and if Shedeur Sanders throws the ball in harm's way, Texas Southern is gonna have to get their hands on the ball. You know, but Shedeur Sanders don't make a lot of mistakes. He don't make mistakes. And, you know, I really want to see Dallas Davis go up against Isaiah. That's going to be a pretty good matchup, you know. So, but Jackson State should not have a problem with this team. At least defensively, they shouldn't. Offensively, if they, you know, I think they would do themselves a good gesture and just run the ball down their throat. Take the win as it comes and take what the defense gives you. You know, and I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna see him in a lot of, you know, cover 2, you know, 2 safety high to try and stop the pass. not knowing that you have a guy in the backfield in Savion Wilkerson who can rush for 150 yards a game if he wants to. You know? So, and mind you, he was short 4 yards of 100. So I think I'm pretty sure, you know, Coach Prime is gonna do him, you know, the good gesture and give him the ball about 15 to 20 times this game because I think it's necessary. Texas Southern can't stop the run, so I would think, yeah, look, just make it light on Shedeur Sanders. Just get out of Houston with a win. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, rush the ball about 25 to 30 times. Have Shedeur throw it 25, 30 times or whatever, and just get the game over with. You know, but if I'm Texas Southern, I'm trying to run the ball as much as possible. Hey, don't be afraid to run on first and second down. Don't be afraid to do it. You know, look, you know what I'm saying? Look, if we have to run the ball with Andrew Body, you're gonna have to do that. Now, even though there isn't many quarterbacks so far this year against Jackson State that a quarterback has been successful with running the ball. It hasn't happened so far this year, you know. So hopefully Andrew Luck could change that, man. And this young quarterback is going up against a different monster than he did a year ago. He scored 28 points, and I think that was a shocker even to me, you know. So, but it's going to be a lot different this time around. And I hope that, look, and they're not going to do themselves any good by trying to score back and forth with this team because I don't think it's not happening. It's not happening. So their best bet is to play good defense and control the clock. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Waste time. Keep it as low scoring as possible. So look, keep the score low. Run the ball, control the clock, and force turnovers. Convert on third down. That's the only, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the many ways you're going to have to beat Jackson State because they're not going to give it to you. Especially with this defense who gives up gives up a touchdown a game. It ain't going to be easy. I promise you this. It's not going to be easy. You know, so Texas Southern is going to have to look. Texas Southern is at home, but Jackson State are home wreckers. Jackson State are home wreckers, man, and they don't care where they play at. They're going to just cause damage anywhere they go. But this ain't going to be easy for Andrew Body. It's not going to be easy. But I think Jackson State. So I'll give my prediction later this week, but yeah, it's not gonna be easy by a long shot.